So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Christian for agreeing to help me make this video, and we are just in the process of celebrating our Diamond Target members, and Christian is one of my target members at my Charlesmore group, so I've asked him if he'd come along and have a little chat and tell us a little bit about himself and about his feelings about Slimming World and his Slimming World weight loss journey. So I'd like to start off, Christian, by saying thank you, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm in my mid-40s. I got to sort of Christmas last year, realised that was getting quite big, and I started to think, well, actually I think it's been doing my lifestyle. So I'm a software engineer, desk-based, been doing that for about 20 years, and I'm just thinking, well, I don't do much exercise, eat bad eating, time to do something. And I don't think you really realise just how much the weight's creeping on. You just look in the mirror one day and all of a sudden you think, ooh, where did that come from?
So I checked actually on the records, and it was the 3rd of January 2019 that you and your partner Graham walked into group for the first time. Do you think it made it easier, the fact that you and Graham came together?
I think having somebody there you knew was quite useful, but then I realised I knew a couple of people in the meeting room from the congregation at the cathedral where I volunteer, so there were a few familiar faces.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, you and Graham, you did incredibly well. Graham got to target in just a few months, but you carried on coming.
I think because the way Slimming World works, and you're starting to see the weight come off pretty quickly, and then obviously it's a slow and steady process, but when you're losing weight every week, there's an incentive then to keep coming. I know I can do it, it's just sometimes I need that little extra help, and that's why I've been continuing to come to groups since I've become a target member.
Yeah, so you lost 5 stone in 7 months, which is just an amazing achievement. And again, I was checking your records, and you actually haven't ever gone out of Target in the 11 months that you've been at Target. And that is a fantastic achievement. But from what you're saying, it's just knowing that you're coming to get weighed each week. And you stay to group each week as well. And I have to say that you are a really sort of motivational, inspirational member of the group. You know, you're always there to support members and give them ideas. So, have you got a favourite meal?
I do. It's not one you probably have this time of year, but I know I like a nice beef stew because they're so easy to do in the slow cooker. You can really load it up with speed food. So just obviously some lean beef, some stock, and then you can just load it up with all the usual casserole vegetables. But actually, you can just empty the fridge in there and you put all sorts in. And if you want to load it with some carbs just towards the end, you can throw a bit of pasta in or some potatoes or not.
Yeah.
And the other beauty of that is you can cook loads of it and freeze it, and then you don't, when you're having a bit of a crisis, you don't need to go for a takeaway or fast food because you can just shove it out the freezer straight in the microwave, and 5-10 minutes later it's on the plate.
And I think there's 2 things really there that I feel I'm picking up. The first is that you do a lot of batch cooking. I know you and Graham have always done that. And you said that's what saved you a lot of times. But you also like your slow cooker as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's nice to do a nice home cooked meal, but sometimes you don't want the hassle of cooking. Other days I'm quite happy to spend 4 or 5 hours in the kitchen doing stuff, and other days it's just what's in the freezer and just as little time as possible. But the slow cooker's a bit of a sort of halfway house between the two.
Yeah, and I think for memory, you quite like lots of vegetarian meals as well,
we try.
Don't you?
Yeah, so we try to do 1 or 2 meals a week where it's either little meat or vegetarian. Quite often do a pasta dish or something, and then if you freeze the pasta sauce, then you can always throw some chicken or something into it later if you want to make it non-vegetarian. But we do use quite a lot of beans and stuff. We've got a cupboard full of different varieties of tinned beans.
So you were all right then when you went into lockdown. I remember that when you and Graham first came to join group, one of the reasons that Graham wanted to lose weight was because he was running a marathon. Is that right? Or was it a half marathon?
It was a full marathon, and
yeah.
he did do that in October last year out in Austria and Germany.
But you weren't particularly active, were you?
I wasn't, no. And over the course, pretty much since I became a Target member, or just towards the end of getting towards Target, I joined the gym. and I've started doing some running. And actually, when Graham ran the marathon in October, I actually did I think it's 11k walk, and I did that in just under 90 minutes, which is quite good. I was quite impressed with that.
Yeah, so is that like sort of speed walking rather than a stroll like I do
Yeah,
with the dogs?
it's pretty fast for 11 kilometres. So you're talking about a quarter of a marathon.
Good grief, yeah. So I just think, I'm thinking back to the Christian that walked through the door 18 months ago, who wasn't particularly fit, ate very badly. For you, what is the big difference? What's the advantages for you of having lost all the weight that you
I
have?
think it's easier to buy clothing because the size I'm now in, I've lost 8 inches off my waist, so it's much easier to go in the shop and buy stuff and be more comfortable that they actually have my size in stock. So there have been some health benefits as well. Apparently I've now stopped snoring, which has been a great relief for my partner, I think, as much as anything. But generally I just feel fitter, healthier, a bit more energy.
So for you, what is it that you love about the Slimming World groups?
I think it's just some support there. Everybody has a bad week, and it's just going in and knowing that if you're stuck for ideas, somebody will bound to have some new ideas of things never thought of doing. And sometimes it can just be you've had a bad week, but you get there and find somebody else has had an even worse week, and you suddenly think, well, actually, it could have been a lot worse. And sometimes it's just, well, I just need a shoulder to cry on. Or somebody just say, well, look, actually, I have lost £3 this week, and I didn't think I would. So I think it's just it's the friendship as much as anything.
Yeah. And generally, I think men feel that Slimming World isn't a place for them. But if there was a man sat there listening to this thinking, I'd love to go to Slimming World, but what would you say?
Don't worry about it. There's bound to be at least one other man there. They're all friendly, willing to support each other, and they will help you with whatever you need to do to get going on the weight loss journey.
Yeah, I was almost going to say my ladies love a man, but I was not quite sure how that might go down. But I think they do. They love to support the gentlemen that come to group because I think they feel very impressed by the fact that they've taken that step. And for me, what is brilliant is just how much men can eat on this plan and still lose weight. I mean, would you say you've ever been hungry?
No, not if I'm doing it properly. You've obviously got to be careful with what you're eating, but if you plan your sins out properly and get the right amount of speed food in, then I'm not hungry. And actually, if I'm doing it really well, then I actually don't need the sins that I sometimes save for an evening treat, which is a good sign I've got the meals right.
Yes, absolutely. Having 3 good meals. How would you use your sins? Give me.
I will quite often. I tend to have a Mother Light yogurt for my lunch, which is obviously only half a sin, and then I will try and save as many as I can for the evening. So occasionally we'll slip a few into the evening meal. Obviously, being a gentleman, I'm allowed 20 to 25 sins, so I'll try and keep 10 to 15 if I can for the evening, and we'll either rustle up some sort of dessert thing with yogurt and other bits and pieces. Or a favourite would be to have some like crackers and cheese using my healthy A and some of the wheat crackers, which are only 1 sin each. That can be a useful way if I'm feeling a bit peckish.
Yeah, and you can have quite a few crackers, can't you? In that
you can. And the other thing I might do as well is if I've had some cereal, as I might sin a bowl of cereal if I've got any milk allowance left in the evening.
Yeah, and actually I think that is such a good way of filling up and not having to feel hungry, and if you're sinning it, you could actually have a different cereal. So you are one of our members that's always come to group and stayed to group, and then of course lockdown came and everything was thrown into disarray. So you were one of the first to sign up and come and join us on Zoom. What do you like about the Zoom sessions?
They're not too dissimilar to the actual physical sessions. Obviously the way they run is slightly different, but actually you can see everybody talks. We're very supportive of each other, and actually it's nice to see some of the faces from the real groups. and we've been helping each other out. Some of the members have obviously been socially isolating more than others because they're in the vulnerable category, and members have been helping each other with food deliveries, and it's been a sort of friendship group as much as it is a stimming group.
If there was somebody sat at home thinking to themselves, you know what, I've had a bit of a break, I decided that I'd take lockdown off, would you say to them, wait till we go back into a physical group, or would you say, come and join us now?
I'd say go as soon as you can. Even if you don't lose any weight, but you just stop putting weight on, that is still a big improvement on losing control of your weight loss. But actually, it's really easy to keep losing weight and eat properly while in lockdown. You've got actually some ways probably more time to do the cooking and stuff at home anyway, so in some ways I find it much easier. And the Zoom groups are really easy. I know technology well, but actually the mobile phone app is really easy to use, and if you can work a phone, you can join a Zoom session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.